Hello, Team Viola. My name is Molly Sharp, and I am the Artist in Residence for the American Viola Society for January and February. If you think about it, the way we learn to play is pretty unique. Because we learn through one on one lessons and coachings, learning to become a classical musician is almost like an oral tradition. Because of this, I think there are a lot of assumptions about when or how a student will learn something. Just intonation is one of those areas. I think a lot of teachers assume that if students keep working on their intonation, they will eventually figure it out. On the other side, you've got the math and physics deep dive on just intonation, where teachers really get in the weeds about the math, ratios, and syntonic commas, and other things I don't actually know how to pronounce. So, what is just intonation?
Just intonation is the tuning of musical intervals as whole number ratios, such as 3 to 2 or 4 to 3, of frequencies. An interval tuned in this way is said to be pure and is called a just interval. Just intervals and chords created by combining them consist of tones from a single harmonic series of an implied fundamental. Just intonations are characterized by the notion of limits. The limit refers to the highest prime number fraction included in intervals of a scale. The 5-limit diatonic major scale is tuned in such a way that major triads on the tonic, subdominant, and dominant are tuned in the proportions of 4, 5, 6, and minor triads are tuned in the proportion of 10, 12, and 15.
What? That's why I wanted to make a very pragmatic workbook to guide people through learning about this tuning system. One where I literally tell you where to put your finger, where to play a note, and let you experience true resonance. Now, my take on just intonation is that it's really just learning how to achieve maximum resonance on your instrument, and then you extend that to ensemble playing. Also, know that sound affects intonation and intonation affects sound. So, with tiny adjustments to the pitch, your sound can really open up. Now, all things exist in relation to something else, and notes are no exception. But enough talking, let's try an experiment so you can see, feel, and hear what I'm talking about for yourself. You're going to need your viola, so press pause and go get it. I'll wait. Okay, first I want you to play an open A and E, first finger on the D string, and experiment with where the E is until the fourth is really in tune. Make really small adjustments and listen. Once it's in tune, now freeze. Don't move your first finger. Now play that E with your open G. Yikes, that's not in tune either. Adjust the sixth until it's ringing like crazy. Once it's in tune, freeze. Don't move your E. Play the E with your open A. It doesn't work, does it? As you can hear, an E is not an E. You have to know the function of the note in the interval. One is a sixth and the other is a fourth. Now let's do that experiment again and find out just how different two E's can be. You're going to need a tuner and a pen or pencil for this. Play the first interval again, experimenting with that E until the fourth really rings. Now don't move your finger, but play the E by itself and look at the arrow on your tuner. Is this E lower or higher than what the tuner says an E should be? How many cents high or low is it? Write down that number. Remember, if the arrow is to the right, write the number as a positive number. If it's to the left, write it as a negative number. Now play the sixth. Experiment with the E so the sixth really rings. Next, play the E alone and see if it's higher or lower than the tuner's E. Write how many cents is it off. Write that number down, or you can also write an arrow up or down to show the tendency of the note. What you'll learn is that the E in the sixth needs to be about 16 cents low, and the E in the fourth needs to be about 2 cents high. By the way, have you ever noticed the little triangles on your tuner? Now, this is assuming that you have or had an old school tuner. Those are there because it's telling you where to put a major or minor third of the chord. So that's a good nerdy tip for you. I decided to go through every interval in this way, showing you exactly how many cents a note needs to be changed in order to resonate so much it rattles your teeth. Even intervals like seconds and sevenths can ring if they're in tune. I call my book Making Double Stops Ring, but it's not actually about how to play double stops. Trickster move alert. Every double stop in the book is against an open string, so you can really experiment with focusing the interval. While this workbook is about tuning, it's actually about more than that. It's about deep listening, exploring the edges of resonance, and increasing your awareness of what you hear and feel while playing. It's about developing a deep and focused sound, which is so crucial for good viola playing. I envision this guide as a prerequisite to string quartet playing. Imagine if everyone in your group really understood how to tune an interval. It would cut down on a lot of arguments about intonation, or at least allow you to make informed decisions. I want to leave you with a few guidelines as you go forward with your intonation work. Do not use vibrato when you're trying to tune something. Vibrato obscures the pitch, and you are going for your clearest, most in tune playing. Vibrato will be added later. Use a slow bow speed and whole bows to help hear the intonation. Make sure your sounding point or your contact point is not over the fingerboard but closer to the bridge for a clearer, more focused sound. Record yourself focusing the interval and sustaining the interval once you've got it ringing. Lastly, slow down and practice deep listening, which is all about deepening your awareness of what you hear. I hope this has helped demystify an often confusing topic. You can download a free introduction to making double stops ring, a guided exploration of just intonation at vlatuti.com. You'll find it in the Vlatuti Marketplace under the free tag. I'm wishing you success on your intonation journey. Thanks for watching.